Today we're talking about combining like terms, and the first thing I asked you to do is brainstorm what is a like term, but we're always going to define like terms in terms of variables, whoopsie, in terms of variables and exponents. So a like term is the same variable raised to the same power. So I will give you a couple examples because that's the easiest way to see it. 8x, x to the first, and 5x are like terms. They have the same variable, x, raised to the same power, the first power. That's the invisible one that you cannot see. I'll give you another example. 2 and -3. They're both constants. They both have the same variable. Let's imagine in this case that it's x raised to the 0 power. 2x to the 0 power. Well, anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So those also have the same variable raised to the same power. And finally, let's do 3x squared and -4x squared. These have the same variable raised to the same power. You can also have a combination of variables as long as they're the same. 3x squared y and 7x squared y and -2x squared y are all like terms. They have the same variables raised to the same powers. So when we're talking about combining like terms, we're really only looking at one thing. We're looking at the I have the hardest time spelling this word, coefficient. We're only looking at the coefficients. Well, where is a coefficient? You may remember that the coefficient is this number that comes before the variable. So this is the coefficient next to the variable, which is raised to, well, look at that, the L didn't go in. There you go. Which is raised to the second power. This is the exponent, separated by an operator. And finally, this over here is a constant. It's just the number. Well, the coefficient's also a number, so I will take that part out. It's the one without the variable. Can I combine like terms? 6n and 6n, both n raised to the first power? Yes. Combine to 13n. I'm only looking at the coefficients. 6n squared and 7n. I have the same variable, n and n, but are they raised to the same power? No, I cannot combine these. What if both terms are squared? I have n squared and n squared. Yes, I can. And so again, I'm only looking at the coefficients 6 and 7. 6 plus 7 is 13, n squared. What about in here? I see n's, 6n and 6n. Those can be combined. And I see constants. And it may be useful to reorder things so that like terms are next to each other. So I can combine these, and I can also combine these. Can anything in the final one be combined? Well, I have 6n, but that's the only n I see. I have 7n squared, but I do have two constants that can be combined. So again, it may be useful to reorder like terms next to each other to make it a little easier to see. And you're left with 7n squared plus 6n plus 4. Let's work on some together. I have a b and a b. I'm going to take the operator before this one with it, so 9b minus 4b. If I put those terms together, minus 1 plus 4, put my constants together, and I'm left with 5b plus 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. This is the simplified expression. You're asked to simplify this one on Desmos, so I'll do this one with you guys. You have 8k minus 10k. That simplifies to negative 2k. And then you have plus 3 plus 6, which equals plus 9. So your final answer is negative 2k plus 9. We have a second problem where we have both x's and y's. Everything looks like it's raised to the first power. So it may be useful to reorder these things next to each other. And then combine from there. 5x minus 2x, only looking at coefficients. You have 3x and negative y, which is negative 1y plus 3y. 3 minus 1 is 2y, and this is the simplified expression. Let's take a look at the one on Desmos together. Very similar. We have y's and we have v's, so maybe we even want to change colors here. We have w, I said y's, I meant w plus 7w, and we're only looking at the coefficients, so that's a 1, the invisible 1. And I'll change my color and I can put the v's. Negative 5v plus 6v is going to be plus 1v, which simplifies to just v. And 1 plus 7w is 8w. So my final answer is 8w plus v. I'm just double checking. Looks good. Here's my final one. I see x to the first power. I have 2 of those, and I see some x squared. So I'm going to reorder these so that the x squareds are next to each other and the x terms are next to each other, and I take the operators before them with them. There's an invisible plus sign here before any positive leading term. Three minus 2 is 1x squared, which simplifies to just x squared, plus 5x plus 3x simplifies to 8x. And that is your simplified expression. Let's take a look at the Desmos one. Very similar to the one we just did. And I'm going to start by putting down just the v squared terms. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2v squared. Maybe I need a second color. Plus v, that doesn't have any like terms. And so that's your final answer. Negative 2v squared plus v. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful.